when we think about the Dennis Hurley Center, a particular scripture comes to mind, Isaiah chapter 32, verses 17 to 20. And the work of righteousness shall be peace, and the effect of righteousness, quietness and assurance forever.
It's the focus on the poorest of the poor that really makes me proud to be associated with the Dennis Hurley Center. Sense that if you have a problem, then we want to welcome you. That's important. Everybody's welcome.
Is an example that Boxer Superstore was experienced during level 5, where we got to hear about this community that had gathered in a particular area in Durban. They were all together, quarantined in a particular space where there was the ability of being able to use the property, use the land to grow spinach and cabbages. And we heard about and we saw what they were doing. We approached them as a small community within this level 5, level 4, and we offered to be able to acquire, to purchase the stock that was being grown fresh on the land. And ultimately, when we were able to bring that into our stores and create that income, we were able to then pay back through to this community, who there in turn were able to plant more seeds, and of course this has been a sustainable project since then.
We're proud of our association with the Dennis Hurley Center. We've had over the past few years teams of final year law students working with homeless people at the center, taking statements of abuse of human rights, raising awareness around rights, and contributing towards the centre's lodging of a complaint with the Human Rights Commission.
For us as the Durban Book Fair, it's an incredible opportunity to work with Streetlit and to help homeless people to actually rebuild their lives. And it's such an incredible opportunity to be in a position to actually effect change in their lives, and also for that to have a ripple effect on the wider society.
I'm very impressed by the organization because they started in the middle of Dalton, in a very bad misery area, the preschool. And we are so grateful that we are partnering and working together to reach the best for all the children.
I think what we're particularly pleased and very grateful for in terms of the Dennis Hurley Center is their focus on the homeless, some of the poorest of society, and particularly their emphasis on those in society that are HIV afflicted.
When I think of the Dennis Hurley Center, I think of an organization with such deep integrity and a really amazing love for all humankind. And they're big-hearted, and they're always thinking about what the people on the streets miss out on most, and then they fill that gap.
I'm really proud to be associated with the Dennis Hurley Center because as I look at it, everybody who works there, the trustees, the management, the volunteers, they all have the dedication of its founder, Pedikani. I believe that they really know how to solve real-time issues. And as we realize, they really breathe and live service to humanity.
I have since become very proud of the Dennis Hurley Center because I think it actually is so authentic to the way he was and the kind of person he was. And what I mean by that, and the one thing I'm most proud of with the Dennis Hurley Center, is that is the way it works so effectively and efficiently and achieves what it set out to do. And it's very clear about what it wants to do. But it does this through welcoming people and bringing people together to do it. That was a gift that Dennis had all the time.
I'm proud to be associated with the center because it advances values and principles that form part or the basis of my own personal faith.
I think what makes me most proud of this association is at the heart of the Dennis Hurley Center's interventions, from my perspective, is its recognition of and respect for the dignity of people. This is above all not a charitable intervention or project, but fundamentally one that's related to people's citizenship.
We're also proud of the work being done every day by all of you. The centre has embedded itself deeply into the heart of Durban and plays such an essential role in supporting the most vulnerable of our city. We're also happy that the legacy of Archbishop Hurley, a man we all admired and loved so much, continues every day through the incredible work being done by all of you.
And you absolutely put your money where your mouth is. You advocate for the needs of community residents, you provide a human and social service, and you help contribute to a sense of space and place for your neighbors.
The Dennis Hurley Center has supporters like us all around the world. These supporters greatly admire the entire Dennis Hurley team. The director, the staff, the volunteers, the board members, its funders, and the people who come for services and leave their own mark as they do so.
Are great too, and they have such a wonderful sense of professionalism as well as casualness, and it's great to be around them and in that centre. And we share resources in every sense of the word, and so happy to do so.
The Dennis Hurley Center is not an abstract charitable organization, but rather a living, breathing physical facility located in the heart of the city and a population of people who really need their help. And now I know where my dollars go. I know because I have witnessed again and again how the staff of the center offers people real hope and real help. I am humbled by the center's real-world efforts, and I pledge to continue my monthly contributions to the center and its continuous attempts to be of assistance to others. Thank you.
If I played football, I'd say learn to kick with your left foot, as this would really help when you need to face the goal from a different angle. And be resilient and adaptable. But most of all, be compassionate to your fellow man, because we're all in the same storm, but in a different boat. And if we've learned one thing, it's okay to do today completely different as you did it yesterday. Because in a pandemic such as this, it's what's required. So be resilient and adaptable.
So one of the learnings that we can take out of that, and all NGOs can take, is how people in desperate times need to do their part, and then how others can then come by and work hand in hand to create a significant difference in the lives of others.
I think there's a lot that NGOs in general can learn from the center. If you look at the manner in which the center operates, they're involved in and with community. So it's a grassroots approach, it's a bottoms up, it's not from the top down. And I think it's an excellent model for other NGOs to adopt and to learn from.
And those NGOs that have ridden the extreme financial pressure that we're all experiencing during COVID have been those that have been able to either repurpose what they're doing or pivot in a direction that became more COVID-centric.
As an NGO, the lessons we can learn from the experience of COVID is NGOs must realize that if they work together, form collaboration and partnerships, that they can be stronger and have a greater impact than if they just stand alone. Collectively, we have a better response and assist more people and achieve the vision and values of our organizations.
From the experience of COVID-19, I think people should learn that no man is an island. We actually have to work and form partnerships, because together we can do much better. I really believe that that can assist for everybody to actually consult the beneficiaries and know what is actually aching them now. So that's what I think they should learn as NGOs.
The great lessons I think we learned in COVID was partnership. How we need to partner with absolutely everyone. Individuals, organizations, and we all do it from that fundamental longing within ourselves to be connected with all humanity. No matter if you are a paid person, an unpaid person, an NGO, everybody can work together to find solutions.
So far, NGOs have taken the lead. I think government is floundering. And it's amazing how NGOs and civil society have taken the lead. I think there's so much, it's a lot of things can be achieved with very little resources, except to have the will and just be stubborn about it and get things done. But yeah, there's so much of potential that can be leveraged.
Lessons I believe NGOs can learn from the approach adopted by the Dennis Hurley Center is in the very successful approach that the center's adopted towards its policy advocacy. And I think the Hurley Center is a reminder for NGOs not to be co-opted in in their interventions and engagements with the states. Retain your independent critical voice, seek opportunities for strategic partnerships with the state, and find champions within the state itself so that you can have those champions who can work with you to realize your strategic objectives, but don't be co-opted.
What has struck me most in both my personal and professional life over this COVID period is the incredible generosity shown by so many during the pandemic. But so many people and organizations want to help and they want to make a difference. But in many cases, they're skeptical about where their money and their resources may end up. So they're looking for charitable organizations or NGOs who are able to make a difference to the most needy in an effective and an efficient, and most importantly, in a transparent manner.
Consider how to care for your staff, because NGOs need wonderful people, and they themselves may be grappling with stress, anxiety, mental and financial challenges resulting from the pandemic, and they may need a little extra TLC and support.
NGOs and other organizations need to start engaging a young generation as one of their top priorities, because not only could the older generation be wiped out in a pandemic, and their supporters of NGOs and doing the kind of work that is done by the Dennis Hurley Centre tend to be older people. Not only could they be wiped out in a pandemic, they will also be dying in the next 20 years and or so, and that unless there are people ready to come and replace them, the work of lots of NGOs will stop or grind to a halt.
And I think where we have been successful is in being nimble and trying to keep ahead of the virus, and using the more than one or two tools in our arsenal.
In my view, the Dennis Hurley Centre is a beacon of love, rescue, attention for the so many homeless, refugees and poor poverty-living children in your area. Please continue with your great work. Keep on creating possibilities for the so many children, families. And I hope that we will work together a long, long time.
Time is right for you to leverage the credibility that you have obtained. You've worked hard to establish yourself and build trust, relationships of trust with homeless people. You've established yourselves as a critical role player and a fierce defender and champion of human rights among civil society organizations. And I believe you've obtained recognition from the state as a credible, informed, reliable policy advocacy partner. I would suggest that now is the time to critically and strategically use that platform to accelerate the transformation of eThekwini municipality towards being a more inclusive city.
Keep doing what you're doing, because you're setting us an exceedingly good example on how we should be dealing not only with people, but also with crises.
I think you just need to keep doing what you're doing, basically. You could step it up a notch, maybe. Keep working on results, making a difference for people, keep looking after people, do it professionally, do it well, deliver what you say you're going to deliver, have plans for all these things, and do it in such a way that you actually bring people together like you do. I think there is nothing more than, I think that's where it's at.
My advice to the Dennis Hurley Centre would keep on doing what you're doing. The recipe that you're currently using is successful, and continuing to partner with other NGOs will only help you grow from strength to strength.
Dennis Hurley, over a period of time, has developed a very proud track record of delivering on its promises, delivering to the most vulnerable and poorest of our society. It's also developed a good track record for being both accountable and transparent, both very important elements for donors such as Aspen Pharmacare. So my advice to Dennis Hurley is don't change anything. I think you guys do a great job. Carry on delivering for the poorest and vulnerable in our society.
Having a diversified workforce, as it said in business, is good for the bottom line. And having a diversified workforce allows for the growth of a particular organization, for having persons with disabilities also in the fold, and it makes it for a greater awareness and for people to be sensitized into the different requirements of various people within the center.
You know, often when you're an established institution like the center, it might not seem necessary to adapt or to change, but the world is changing rapidly because of technological change. And I mean, we know with COVID, we've become more and more reliant on technology. I would encourage the center to equip themselves more in this regard and see how to use the digital platforms much better.
Look, the work of the Dennis Hurley Center is phenomenal. But I would like to see more vocational sort of training. It's easy to talk about these things, but difficult to do, I know. But more to link up with and leverage the existing resources that are already there to get all the faith-based organizations, for example, working together to take ownership of their own communities, and for them, for example, to open up their halls and their temples and their churches and their mosques to take care of the homeless and the vulnerable people in their community.
For this one, I would say really NGOs need to focus on the issue of sustainability. This is an issue for most NGOs, and I think they should be able to actually go to communities, advise them on resources that they have, how they can use them. And I think we actually also need to start encouraging people for hard work and also deal with issues of social entrepreneurship.
My advice would be to continuously remind the Durban community about your projects, how they're making a difference and with whom you are partnering, whilst also advising the public how they can assist and play their part. As we all drive around the city, seeing the increasing number of destitute and desperate, the public should know that the Dennis Hurley Centre can, with their financial assistance, make a difference.
The Dennis Hurley Center is a fantastic example of leadership in creating organization out of potential chaos. So I'd say continue to reach out and communicate regularly with your government, corporate, and private donors to let them know what you're doing to help Durban's homeless citizenship.
In the future, I think we need to do more listening to the homeless. Let their voice speak so loudly and give them a sense that their voice is meaningful. What they ask for is what we should try and get within reason. But that should be our starting point. Listen to the homeless. Listen to the pain and suffering. That's the first step.
Basically, it occurred to me that there would be hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people around the world who are desperate to support the work of an organisation like the Dennis Hurley Centre. They want to make a difference. They want to contribute to work that is done to makes a real difference in the lives of people. All you have to do is to make a plan to let them know that that they think this and that here you are waiting for them.
Dennis Hurley Centre, just keep doing what you do for the people in our city. You bring people together in community and without division or prejudice, and I'm really not sure what the city would do without you. Most of all, you put God's word and God's will into all that you do, and we are so thankful and proud to be part of you.